Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini episode, I have a couple of stories that are very bizarre. One involving the ancient cities in the Gobi Desert, and another involving weird discoveries up on the moon. Either way, both articles are very interesting, and we're going to start off with this article, Uyghur Ancient Cities, Gobi Myths Meet Modern Discoveries. Let's get into this article now and read exactly what it's all about. Updated on August 8th, 2025. Uyghur ancient cities are said to have thrived across the Gobi Desert long ago. These sites were described as ocean ports. Today, only sand remains. Legends also claim advanced flying craft, sometimes linked to ancient Varmanas, moved between hidden hubs in northern Tibet and the Gobi. Uyghur ancient cities and Gobi Desert legends. In the 1930s, Russian explorer Nicholas Roerich reported a metallic disc over northern Tibet. Some researchers connect that sighting to lost Gobi settlements. In addition, older traditions say the ancient ones, or 13th school, left the Gobi for Tibet before a global upheaval. Myths of Sai Wang Mu and the Zayan. The philosopher Lao Tzu wrote about ancient masters in a western land called Sai Wang Mu. According to myth, Sai Wang Mu belonged to the Zayan, beings later honored as gods in ancient China. They allegedly worked with subtle energies, offered longevity through the peaches of immortality, and could inflict or cure disease. However, the full extent of these powers remain unknown. So you can see a bunch of myths all blended together here, folks. From ancient masters, from Eastern philosophy granting immortality through, elixirs or peaches with the ability to grant such powers, or ancient cities that also were said to exist in the ancient past. These seem like legends we've seen before, folks, and the fact that the same legends seem to be everywhere is testament that maybe something like this did exist. Here is what's supposed to be a photo of a giant footprint, folks. The heading says that it's the supposed footprint of a Zayan, a little pond in Gengzhao's temple of the Five Immortals. So, does this prove that they exist, folks? No, it's just a little pond that looks like a footprint, but still very interesting that such legends exist. But let's move on. Telepathic civilizations and the fall of man. Early Tibetan legends describe a time when people used telepathy, traveled in the astral, and levitated heavy objects. As the story goes, abuse of these gifts ended that era before humanity lost common telepathy, echoed by the Tower of Babel tale. Since then, lamas preserved fragments of this knowledge in isolation. And here, folks, we are looking at Potala Palace in Tibet. It's said to basically be a gateway to hidden knowledge, because they say the mountain under this, palace has ancient knowledge that was preserved by these lamas. So, let's read on. Accounts claim the mountain beneath the Potala hides a maze of caves and corridors. One path ends at a sacred underground lake used for initiations. Others reportedly hold treasures, a golden Buddha, and even the bodies of a giant race. As a result, many link these chambers, rightly or wrongly, to the builders of the Uyghur ancient cities. Modern discoveries that frame the legends. Myths stand apart from proof. Even so, archaeology has revealed real Silk Road cities such as Gochang and Johor. Recently, researchers mapped a 200-mile Gobi wall from the Western Zai period. It shows a strategy, not sorcery. Nevertheless, finds like these place the Uyghur ancient cities' stories within a rich historical setting. Why the stories endure. Confirmed ruins, unexplained sightings, and enduring lore keep interest high. Therefore, the Uyghur ancient cities continue to invite investigation. Whether as a history, hypothesis, or mystery, they spark the same question. What traces of forgotten cultures still lie under Gobi sand? Indeed, folks, what still lies under those sands? Could we find evidence that maybe that these giants existed and that the other legends are true as well? Or at least maybe pretty much true. Let's just say that, folks. But also we have to consider maybe the links to UFO lore as well. How they basically, the Uyghur, used some sort of a UFO, for lack of a better word, because that was what seemingly they were describing in the story and article here, folks. But that's just me. Maybe you guys think it was some sort of magical apparatus or device, but that's what it sounded like to me, folks. Either way, let's move on to the next article. Moon UFO discovery, metallic objects, and new lunar anomalies. Let's get into this article now and read exactly what's been discovered, or basically more evidence of things up on the moon, folks. Things we all want to hear about, folks. So let's hear about maybe these lunar discoveries, pieces of metal, and other things, and maybe even, something that has to do with the UFO question. But, well, we'll have to read on to find out. Moon UFO theories often tie into bizarre lunar images in odd rock formations. In one notable case, researcher Javadoni Eric claimed to see a long, shiny object on the moon. The object looked metallic and unlike a natural feature. As a result, he suggested it might be the wreckage of a crashed craft. Moon UFO dimensions and shape. Based on the image, Eric estimated the object measures about 190 meters long and 40 meters wide. Moreover, its reflective surface hinted at metal material. Therefore, some researchers think it may be an artificial structure or a spacecraft. Here's a picture of this supposed object, folks, and it does sort of look like basically a cigar-shaped UFO that's been described before, folks. It sort of looks like a big needle, in fact, kind of, folks, or maybe like it basically just has a big sharp end on the front, but that's assuming that is the front of the object, folks, and maybe not just, well, what we see of this object basically digging into the ground, because maybe why it looks like it's basically like a big splinter or basically needle is because it's partially buried up front. But, well, let's read on now and find out if that's true or not. Either way, moon UFO impact or static. It is unclear if the object is stationary or a crash site. Eric proposed it's fragmented into two sections during impact, thus its appearance may reflect that breakup. Well, I did say that I think it was partially buried, folks. That could have happened because it was partially buried because of impacts, and it did break up, so that would explain why it looks the way it is, folks. So I think I basically am on the right track, but let's read on, because this is so interesting. Unlikely a lunar rock. Eric and some ufologists argue that the object's straight edges, symmetry, and shine differ drastically from lunar rocks or meteors. In addition, they suggest it might represent alien technology or a man-made probe. Moon UFO versus scientific evidence. Despite these bold claims, there's no validation from any space agency. However, credible science has revealed genuine lunar oddities. In 2024, researchers found reflective dust and magnetic anomalies on matter-sized boulders in the Rainier Gamma region. This discovery was made using AI and images from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. Scientists also identified a hidden mass beneath the South Pole Attican Basin. It may be the remains of a massive asteroid or dense underground magma weighing billions of tons and warping the crater floor. Lunar soil from China's Chang'e 5 mission contained magnetite grains formed under extreme impact. These particles could explain lunar magnetic hotspots. So, do you think that this object is just a natural formation, folks? Or do you think it actually is evidence of a crashed UFO on the lunar surface? If you've looked at the lunar surface in the last few years, folks, a lot of people have basically brought up various odd things about it, like mysterious lights, weird formations, even people saying that there are towers on the moon that are inhabited by alien beings, and that's not even bringing up basically the dark side of the moon that people said and do say is inhabited. Either way, folks, all of this is interesting, but let's finish up this article now. Why the moon still intrigues. NASA officially ended manned moon missions due to budget limits. Nevertheless, conspiracy theories cite anomalies like Eric's object as possible reasons why humans haven't returned. If verified, such finds will revolutionize our understanding of the moon and extraterrestrial presences as well. So, is that true, folks? Are there aliens up on the moon, or are they ancient humans? Maybe the so-called rumored cryptoterrestrials, basically being maybe humans, but not human. Maybe like basically a breakaway civilization as well, folks. Could that be what's up there on the moon? And when I say basically they're human but not human, they're like, human cousins like the Neanderthal. Maybe basically they evolved a little different from us and broke away and basically formed their own civilization, either, under the Earth or maybe even, on the moon. But then again, it could also be that if this is some sort of breakaway civilization, it's of humans, folks. For whatever reason, these people are just more advanced than us, and now they live either under the Earth or on the moon right now. It's just something to think about, folks. Either way, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics, they're bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Hit the part of the bell that will give you all future notifications. And please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video. So be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.